Notre Dame also flipped. Cameron Herron from Indianapolis Warren Central.
Love it.
See, I don't know what the Stargazers are going to do with this one because he flipped from Iowa, which is traditionally a really good O-line school. He's a 3-star. On3 has him ranked higher than everyone else, though. So, Tim, I remember after Irish Invasion when we did a show, we were both like, we could see Notre Dame later in the cycle going and flipping him. And that's exactly what the Irish did. They kept tabs on him. I remember when On3 bumped him to this 4-star status, I checked in. I had been keeping in tabs on Herron a little bit, checked in with them about every 2-3 weeks, see if Notre Dame was in contact, and they were each time. And then when he got bumped to 4-star, I contacted a Notre Dame source, and I was like, put the feelers out there to see what the interest was like in Herron. Oh, yeah. So this one was not really a surprise to me personally, but Notre Dame did keep it under wraps that they were going after Herron. And then, we even did a report on it at Blue and Gold. I forgot about that. So if you're a blueandgold.com subscriber, like 2 weeks before, it's like the week of the Louisville game, because he was on campus this past weekend for the Stanford game, I put a report that Notre Dame was keeping close eye on him. And if Notre Dame offers, he's going to flip. Here we are. But yeah, Tim, here's your center of the future. He's 6'2.5", 275 pounds. This is him as a high school senior. Offensive linemen, Tim, usually don't have six packs. Like, this dude is ripped. He's not the tallest, but I think his arm length is 35
inches. Kyle reported that, which is crazy.
I reported it, Tim.
I know. I'm giving Kyle Kelly.
And like a 5'2", 40 at like 275 pounds. Like, this dude, Cam Herron, was just way too good for the Irish not to take. Like, that is very much what happened here, Tim. So it's an exciting one, and I'll pop on. I think we have some mid-season tape. He's got 9 minutes.
Well, he's definitely going to lose that six-pack because he's going to be eating a lot of mashed potatoes and butter and gravy.
Yeah, okay? He'll be up to 300 pounds easy.
Yeah, and it's funny, my brain starts to work as, who's been the All-American centers, since Lou Holtz took over. And sure enough, Tim Hyde brought out the blue and gold yearbooks, Mike. You got 6'2" Chuck Lanza, 6'2" Mike Helt, 6'3" Tim Ruddy, 6'2" Sam Mustafer, 6'3" Braxton Cave, and my all-time favorite, Mike Goolsby's old guy who brought fear into his life, as he's mentioned many times, Jeff Fain, the best Notre Dame center in ages. So you don't need to be massive to be great. He's an absolute jerk, if I could say that out there. He is a tough dude. Violent, really, really tough, strong hands. Punch. Those are some of the things you notice as an O-line coach right away. Is he's not a flipper guy, meaning forearm. He's not grabbing. Like right there, elbows in, man. You want elbows in, thumbs up, striking like you're a damn boxer. And he is a violent, violent punch guy. So you and I talked about him a year ago.
Yeah.
And he was always one of my favorites because I just saw an effort guy. And I'm a massive fan of recruiting 4 linemen every damn year. And it was just like, take this guy, develop him, see where he goes down the road. So really, really good low base because he's short. So he got a low base. So that's obviously going to help being a 6'2" center. And let's talk about that. He's been a left guard his whole career. He has played some center this year in these highlights. So they are mixing him from center to left guard. He's coming in to be a center. He's coming in to learn, to eat, do what Tim Hyde always says, right, Mike? See where you're at in year 3. So we don't want to hear about this guy. Go eat, go lift, go get your ass kicked on the scout team. Good luck blocking those D tackles. And let's see where you're at as a junior when Ashton Craig's going pro. So I'm really excited because he's an effort guy. And effort guys, man, up front, that's what Pat Coogan was, right? Coming out. He reminds me a lot of Jeff Rulin, who was Trevor Rulin, excuse me. Trevor Rulin's high school film was one of the best ones I ever saw. He was a mean son of a bitch. So that's who Cameron reminds me of. This is a perfect 4th lineman to bring in, to redshirt, develop. and let this guy go after it. And on top of that, as some of our Indiana residents on the Loose Emoji message board are always getting hyped up about, he's coming from a damn good high school, correct, Mike?
Yep.
This high school produces Division I football players each and every year. Yep. Each and every year. I think Sheldon Day even, I think this is Warren Central, correct?
Yes.
Where Sheldon's from. So, I mean, they crank out guys left and right all the time. We won't talk about the DN who's going to the SEC, but they produce some guys. So this is a good pick. And Iowa, if anyone knows how to produce interior offensive linemen that play in the NFL, it's Iowa. So it's like the same thing with Joe Alt. When you look at Joe Alt's offers, those are all developmental offensive line programs. And that's the same type of thing you got here with Cameron. So I love it, Mike. Give us a little bit more info on him.
Yeah. Couple things. This is a kid, I don't know if like he grew up himself a Notre Dame fan, but I remember interviewing him after like he visited in December 23 and then in January the next month. And I remember him telling me that he has so many Notre Dame fans in his family. Like Notre Dame, it's one of those things where if Notre Dame offers, I'm going there. You don't get too many, Tim, like high caliber prospects like Herron who are like that. Let me explain. A lot of kids in like the state of Georgia, you grow up a Georgia fan, right? Georgia is everything. A lot of the kids Notre Dame has to recruit, the kids are like, where is South Bend on a map? I don't know what state they're in. So if you have this big time talent like this, who grew up watching Notre Dame, learning about Notre Dame, family members love Notre Dame, it's just kind of refreshing, Tim, because Notre Dame doesn't get this a ton. Yeah, you're going to get a few Chicago kids every cycle, one or two Indiana guys. But like when you do have these talented players in your home recruiting base, you got to do it because you just don't get them often. Georgia, Florida, Texas, USC, these schools are blessed to have just this elite talent near them with so many prospects. If you go to like On3 and you search rankings by state, they do a top 100 for Florida. They don't do a top 100 for Indiana because there's not like 100 Division I recruits like at the FBS level. So this is nice. I like this, Tim. I love this kid. He's a great kid. I have been rooting for him to end up at Notre Dame. Super excited. Really jealous that Kyle Kelly got to interview him this week about the commitment, and I didn't get to talk to Cam myself. Right, but one more thought, Tim, going back to the tape. How about this little fun comp? He is Emil Wagner if Emil Wagner was a guard, right? Like that leaner, just super athletic. You know, watching Emil Wagner films, like, well, when he bulks up, you know, like what, like Herron to me, like he looks like a bodybuilder. Yeah, you know, that's my take.
Yeah. You know, with offensive linemen, you always talk about strike, your leverage, and the way you finish, and he fits all of those. He's nasty as hell. He plays the leverage, meaning he's going to get to the side he needs to get to. And his finish reminds me of Anthony Knapp's. Going back to Anthony Knapp's film last year where he was just knocking the crap out
everybody,
of guys everywhere. And I mean, you watched Anthony Knapp last year, same thing, low 3-star, who the hell is he?
But On3 bumps him up high, you know.
When you play with effort, you have a shot. And that's Anthony Knapp. He was just relentless last year. So that's the one thing I like him. And the more you watch him as Notre Dame fans, just constantly think of Sam Mustipher. He looks like Sam Mustipher's little brother. They're built the same squat body, the same nastiness. Like you're saying, the love of Notre Dame. I bet you Cameron's going to be a candidate to be a captain someday. He's just, you know, he's those types of guys. So he reminds me a lot of Sam. That was the first guy I thought about instantly was Sam Mustipher. Braxton Cave. Braxton was another guy out of, Mishawaka Penn, I believe, up there in the South Bend area. So another great short center. Speaking of short centers, I like the research. I jumped on the Remington Award, which obviously is the nation's best center award every year. 6 out of the last 10 winners, Mike, have been 6'3", 6'1", 6'2". So only a couple monsters, and you could tell what schools they go to. But the best of the bunch is Tyler Lindenbaum out of Iowa. He's 6'1". He's the best one in the last decade. So the stud last year at Oregon is a maniac. He's 6'2". So I found that a little interesting tidbit for the best centers in the country are all Cameron Herron size. So it's pretty interesting.